Hi, I'm Tom Hakeem, and on this episode of Meet the Candidates, an opportunity for all of you to be able more likely to put a face with a poster or a billboard or somebody you thought you heard about. Now you get to really get to know them, and I want to welcome my guest and good friend, Vito Strolis. How are you, buddy?
Thank you, Tom. Pleasure
Thanks
to be
for
with you
coming
this
over.
afternoon. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
So, for those people, a lot of people obviously in the area of Township know who you are, and some don't because we have a lot of people moving in, new people all the time. When we start out, tell them a little bit about yourself personally.
I've had the pleasure of being a township resident for 40 plus years. My children were born Clinton Township, went through the Chippewa Valley system, and then went on to college from there. And I've had the honor of being a business person in the area for 45 years and realistically supporting the growth of Clinton Township. You know, whether it be first responders, whether it be the public schools, whether it be roads, whatever. So this is a big part of who I am, this community.
You just mentioned you've been a part of the community, a business owner for all these years. Obviously get to see a lot of what goes on and what goes on in the township. As a trustee, you're basically the team that's running the township.
Sure.
With your quarterback, whoever that might be, the supervisor. As a team, some questions come out from people outside the fishbowl that look at that and watch what goes on. And it's a national issue right now about a little bit of infighting and party sides. And you know, where do you stand, Vito, as far as trying to get elected, just bring peace to the board so that everybody, and they're a great board as they are, but it's a natural thing.
Tom, you know, that's a fair question. What I look at, having dealt with boards for 40 years, knowing the personalities, even though there may be several parties running, you know, different political ideas, I look at it as a team concept, and I don't look at it us and them. My common goal, me personally, is to work with anybody and everybody for the common advancement of our community and our residents. So, I mean, I don't want to say us and them because that's really not what I'm here to do.
Is there, it's interesting when we were talking a little bit earlier, you've had recognition, obviously, even nationally, on the balance of work life and how important that is. I find that important in every walk. It's something that you really believe in.
I believe it's crucial, whether it's volunteering through the church for running divorce care programs, whether it's speaking to large groups at national conventions about being self-employed and balancing the home life and the work life. We all have different definitions of success, and not everyone can separate the two, and it's a very delicate. So I've been fortunate, like I said, to speak at groups, to be in the national publication that you're referring to, and know that a lot of people, and I'm going to say the word men in different industries, are not fully educated in that arena.
Well, and I think in today's world, maybe the next workforce is a little more cognizant of that than our generation was or is. So in the township, you see enough and have been around enough. We've accomplished a lot. It's a great township.
Yes.
What once you're a trustee on the board, what do you see as a couple of the important issues that you'd like to address?
I would like to see to it that we're fully staffed on the first responder side of it, whether it be police, fire. I know we have an independent ambulance service. In this day and age, you know, the labor shortage has affected most businesses, including that type of work,
right?
Police and fire. You know, we have competition from other communities regarding, you know, whether it be pensions, whether it be different types of schedules. There's competition way more than ever been in that market. Mm-hmm. Years ago, 100 people would apply for 5 openings. Now we always have openings. So I want to see to it that we can shore that up. We're making some advancement with the parks, with the river, with the George Park and what have you. I would like to see us, you know, take more advantage and replicate other communities and have parks that are, you know, accessible for seniors, I know that we've advanced to transportation for the seniors recently. I want to see to it that people can get out and enjoy the amenities that we have.
Oh, that's important, and we have a lot of seniors here.
Yes, we do.
I like to be part of that group.
Well, yeah.
It took a while, but we got there. The roads are always an issue
Yes.
in your business. I don't know who would deal with it more than you do.
You know, the growth is an issue. It's concerning to watch the board meetings and when the residents are going to vote 51% to redo the neighborhood. And, you know, there's some situations where it causes a rift between neighbors. You know, maybe you need to take a loan out to pay for it over 10 years or what have you. So it's a very difficult, I know the revenue sharing's been a key crux, you know, with the state dollars, and they don't seem to trickle to the townships. You know, we do have several great board members now that have brought that up and make residents aware. I mean, you know, we get into a situation where for years it was fix the roads, and then all of a sudden the roads are the same, and people get disillusioned, rightfully so.
Well, and I think people don't distinguish between I-75 and Garfield Road and Millar Road. The roads, they think the roads are the one roads, and there's one book that pays for everything. And you brought up an interesting issue. A lot of seniors in this community as well, but we have a lot of young people.
Yes, we do.
What do we do, Vito, to enhance, bring more business to the community, and hopefully create, you know as I do, an environment where young people want to be here? And it's a great community as it is, but maybe those areas need a little polish.
Well, part of that, too, is the affordability of the housing. We have different price ranges in our community. We're fortunate with that. I think a major playing card is obviously the outdoor amenities, the school districts, which we have great choices in that area. So we do have a low crime rate. We have great schools. We have accessibility, whether it's Partridge Creek. We have great highways, north, south, east, west, so people can get from Clinton Township to where they want to go. And we have competition now, maybe on the northwest part of the county. Maybe somebody's parents move, so they want to go there. So I think we need to encourage people to know that Clinton Township is the place that you can raise your children and retire in and live in a great neighborhood and be safe. And I think that's what we're going to continue to sell.
That would be the keys.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's great education within this township. We have good districts, all well run, and,
Yes.
and have a lot of young people come out of them that just, they fly.
Yes.
The competition we face as well, as you said, Washington Township, Rochester, people tend to move north.
Yes.
I'm sorry I won't be around the day when everybody's already at the top of the UP and they can't go north anymore unless they become Canadian citizens. There's opportunity within the community as we grow. What businesses are we lacking? What could we add more of to the community?
Well, as you know, we've seen a transformation of the shopping centers. You know, that era is, you know, kind of weaned off a little bit. You know, we do have some great restaurants. We have things like that. I think we have a lot of the things right here to take care of what we need, but whether it be movie theaters or whatever, there has been a change in that industry as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know, it used to be, well, I live close to the movie theaters and whatever. Well, now, you know, people can go online and do whatever. So, my opinion, most everything is within reach in a short drive. I mean, you go 10, 15 minutes in either direction, you can pretty much get what you need.
One of the topics that we brought up with all the candidates, which is really not a big deal, but it's what everybody talks about. The marijuana issue, the referendum twice voted down here in the community. Everybody has a different opinion on it. And what is your take on that? Just your personal feel for. Now you're a trustee. I'm
Sure.
not asking you personally. We
No.
don't care what anybody thinks. Really.
I was not a proponent of the thought of the marijuana. Having been a sponsor of years for, you know, the different programs, FAN, and listening to young adults talk about their struggles, it's an eye-opener. And, listening to some people that started out with recreational and then kind of transcended into other areas. So I wasn't, and I'm not a proponent of it. Having said that, there are plenty of other communities that jumped on that bandwagon. For example, I think Mount Clemens, there's 4 or 5 locations. So, and having said that, there may have been people when Prohibition was over that, said, oh my gosh, we don't want to have a liquor store in the corner.
Right.
It's a controversial subject. My personal opinion, I don't think that it enhances Clinton Township. Watching the board meetings over the years, it didn't seem like it brought a great tax value to our community. So having looked at that and having listened to the reports from the police department, there seemed like there might have been more negative than plus in that topic.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Well, people vote. They're going to vote one way or the other.
Oh, sure.
And then you go with whatever the people think. There's a we're doing great job as we pulled in. I almost want to jump in the splash pad with the kids today. And I only live down the street, so I've seen a lot of good growth in the community. I've seen where our first responders, they do an amazing job.
Yes.
And we commend them for that. And as you said, it's an area that we need to support. And I totally agree that you have to provide the best protection so people, they just feel great living here. Given the opportunity to talk for 2 minutes or more, maybe 3 minutes, tell our viewers, why should they elect Vito to the board?
I think, to be honest with you, the sincerity and the experience of living in the community, being a business owner in the area, being able to balance what's going on, what are the trends, I watched meetings years ago when there were layoffs of different police and fire, and it was a very controversial thing. So, having been in the area for a number of years, I've watched this roller coaster ride, and I know at this point in my life that I can bring value and also bring some experience to the board and kind of get away from the us and them mentality. I want to work with the team for what's best for the residents and what's best for the community. I've had a stake here for 40 plus years, and at this stage of my life, I want to give back to the residents the values and the experiences that I've enjoyed.
And as you told me earlier, the transition of your business
Yes.
to your family,
My
to your son,
Yes.
awards you the opportunity to go in feet first. And
Absolutely. I mean, I know at this stage of my life, I've had a great run in that arena. I'm ready for something else. So this process started 8 or 9 months ago, prior to this election thing. But, there are 2 open seats for the trustee. And there are some great people that are on the board now, and I'm not looking to, quote unquote, run against them, whatever. There's 2 open seats. I would like the pleasure of being elected to one of those seats.
well, I appreciate that. And from my perspective, on behalf of myself, our crew here at TV and the township in general, I'd like to thank you primarily for the idea that you're willing to do this. Because
Absolutely.
to step into the public eye and in politics and in a very difficult time in our country is more challenging than when I did this 20 years ago and talked to people. And well, I think it was challenging then too. I don't remember that. I remember what I had for breakfast. That's about it today. So on behalf of all of us here at CTTV, I want to thank you again for coming out and spending time with us. And Mr. Vito Strolis, best of luck in the campaign.
My pleasure, and I mean, I like to consider myself, I'm running as a citizen.
There you go.
And that's what I tell people, so that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much, Tom.
Well, so much for that. And meet the candidates. Great opportunity. It's a pathway. The path ends when you vote. You have to get out and vote. So giving you a chance to meet some of these people is what we can do, but only you can vote. Tom Hakeem for Meet the Candidates.